So hi everybody, welcome here. So we will have a meeting today and tomorrow. And then we will have a little break because we have a course coming up. So it'll be a break for 12 days. So that's good. Use this opportunity today and tomorrow to have a little meeting together. And we start in the same way as you usually do, with the guided meditation and activation. And for those who wants to have it activation, you need to have the video on. I need to see you. You can lie down if you want to. It's not recommended during meditation generally, but during this activation, it's okay. But I need to see your face. So, okay, let's get started. We just sit here comfortably. See, the internet is unstable here. I will see if I can make it more stable here. So we sit comfortably, close our eyes, or having open eyes, how you want. Just landing on this spot we are now. Just allowing this moment to be exactly as it is already. It's all about opening up, being available for the truth, so to speak, to show itself for us, to see what is already here. But we can't try to be open. We can't try to be available. Then we're not available and open already. So we just sit here, relaxing, so to speak, not trying to relax. Just being here, sitting here, allow the moment to be exactly as it is. Not interested in anything specific and doing absolutely nothing. And then the activation will start soon. We can take 1 or 2 minutes to come out of meditation. So, Christer, can you tell us how to live life? Hmm? I heard these questions sometimes. What should I do with my husband to make me see me more? What should I do with my son who doesn't want to do the homework? He wants to look at computer games instead. Or is it fair that my uncle is eating all the muffins at the dinner parties? Maybe the last question is, maybe the last example is not so very serious, but the principle is there. Can we have some advices how to live in the world so we can get to see our enlightenment sooner, quicker, by having some kind of conduct, following some ethics, some rules, develop compassion, working for other people, be loving and kind. I will not give any advices in this matter. And the reason is very simple. Because it's the other way around. You don't develop compassion. If you feel compassion for somebody, but you actually hate it inside, what kind of compassion is that? If you're kind to your parents, but you actually find them quite annoying, it's just playing. The right way, so to speak, the right way to behave is spontaneous, is coming when you're already living in the freedom state. It doesn't lead to the freedom state. It's a big misunderstanding. All the traditions which has these rules how to behave, how to think, how to act, how to be to other people, is the other way around. The act of compassion is coming spontaneously in the freedom state. And how to behave towards other people, how to raise our kids, is coming spontaneously, naturally, and with love, based on love in the freedom state. We can't play and try to behave in a certain way to get to freedom. Karma yoga, to be for other people without having any based in the ego. Beautiful theory, but if you feel inside that you actually want their gratefulness, it's just feeding the ego. Karma yoga in the meaning that you are doing something for some other person without any back, any hidden agenda that I will get something out of it. You're just doing because it's coming from the heart. That is something which is coming spontaneously in the freedom state. Karma yoga doesn't lead to freedom. It is freedom expressing itself as karma yoga, or whatever way we put it. Serving people is not some kind of idea to serve people to get to freedom. Serving people, if it happens spontaneously from the freedom place. So they're all the upside down here. That's why I'm never going to have any advice from this guy. Just to discover your freedom state, which is already here by following some kind of instructions. And then your actions and your thinking will be totally different. The decisions will be totally different. The controlling goes away. Life is spontaneous, based on love and joy and caring. We cannot play caring if we don't feel that we want to care. Huh? As some kind of idea that if I care now, I should force myself to care. So I can develop love. It's the other way around. Caring is coming when the love is seen. That your love, your essence, your nature, so to speak, of your being, of your very existence is love. Can be good to understand this so we don't go into some kind of trap of following some rules, some rules of ethics, some rules of conduct, some rules of how to think, how to act, how to behave, and try to copy some kind of idea of how it should be. The natural, spontaneous, non-violent in any way, or non-violent, is coming spontaneously in the freedom state. It's impossible to hurt somebody or something. That is not some kind of idea. It's just rising from that state. So just continue meditating when the signal is there. Or now I can have some minutes over, I can meditate, follow these 3 simple instructions. Come to the group session to have activation, of course, all courses, which is the best. Come to courses. And have individual sessions where we question the beliefs. That's all. We don't have any, you don't have to follow any some kind of rule which is said in the book. It's a trap. Trying to follow some rules which someone else has said. I don't want to go into a discussion about religions. But of course, there's a lot of stuff there also. Honor your father and mother. But if you don't feel that you want to honor your father and mother because you're quite pissed off with them, or actually they treated you very badly, you think. They didn't actually, but you think so. How can you honor your mother and father then? It becomes some kind of play. Superficial, doesn't lead anywhere. We can go on and on and on, all these rules and lists of conduct and ethics that has been produced by human mankind since thousands of years. And just see that it's a misunderstanding. It doesn't lead to freedom. It doesn't lead to love and doesn't lead to joy, enjoy life. The freedom state, which is joy and love and peace, expresses itself spontaneously, automatically, in a loving, caring way, where the thinking is focused, constructive, creative, practical, where the behavior is based on love, because we see that we are one, not we are one, but to see oneness in the other one. Yeah, that was just some reflections when people ask, Bristol, can you give me some advice? There is a tradition here in India that the teachers are not only, so to speak, wise and know things about the absolute truths of life, that they also should give some advice about how to behave in daily life. That's for them, nothing wrong. But when it comes to freedom, to discover freedom, it doesn't lead to freedom. Is there anyone who has any comments on this? Yes, Amanda, yes, I see your hands coming, and I hear your voice also soon.
Yeah, just a quick question. It seems that there are some teachers that seem to have woken up, but they do things that are not very kind or abusive. They are, so it seems like you're saying something different there. That someone who's, if when we're in our true nature, we wouldn't do something.
You mean some teachers, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Hear a few teachers that are really like awake, but they've been abusive with their students, or
Well, are they really awake then?
I don't know. That's my question, because I thought that you could wake up see the truth, but not have grown your personality, I suppose.
Well, as we know by now, there are different aspects of the truth, and they are not coming all of them at the same time.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if we go in the Vedantic way that we do here, it means that we go inwards first, and not the Tantric way going outwards first. We go in the Vedantic way, it means that we are finding or discovering this true place inside us. But when we come out, it's not finished. It's just half. Half cooked, one of my teachers said to me. Half cooked. Quite good expression. So the next step is to question our beliefs. And it is in that process that the me goes away, the ego me. But if we start to teach, I'm not saying something is wrong, everything has its place, of course. But if we start to teach before it's finished, before we are fully cooked, then it can be a trap that we actually following the ego, following the physical needs also, which is happening sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but when this one state is a living reality, then there is no ego who has any desires to get big by having appreciation and sitting on a stage, have several thousands of people in front. So yes, there's quite many out there. I will not make a list. Quite many who it's not finished. But when we come to the awakened state, it feels so great. Yes, finished. I also did that. I did the same. But fortunately, in my case, my teacher said, and now the real work starts, he told me. When I thought I was, oh, now it's finished. I will go out and teach. So I thank you, Nicole, so for saying to me that now the real work, what is he talking about? That is a trap that many goes into, unfortunately. And if they start to teach, so the spiritual ego, which can be, it's just getting bigger and bigger. And if the ego is still there, it can also be, of course, to use the situation, use a position as a teacher when it comes to the student.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is an answer enough for you.
No, that's very helpful. That's so something can be seen, but it hasn't been the ego's still running.
But
Ah.
there is a but. Because if everything is the ocean, is there any option really? Is there any choice for the teacher with a big spiritual ego to choose not to behave in that such a way and to use a situation for his benefits or her benefits, mostly his? It's still the ocean, still the same reality showing itself as that. But it is suffering. Not only suffering for the one who is abused, usually girls then, but also suffering for the one who is abusing. Because it's, I think it's, I mean, speculating here, but it has to be felt somewhere. What is going on here? Why do I use this? Why do I behave in such a way that they are protesting and putting videos on YouTube? Telling all the nasty things about me as a teacher. So somehow the truth is coming in due time to tell that something is wrong. It's not finished. And maybe they have to withdraw as a teacher. It happens.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit tricky question, right?
No, it's helpful to get the answer because I've been confused a long time.
Yeah, I know.
Because everyone says different things. And
yeah, and I came with a new version or what?
no, I like your version.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just how it is seen from the freedom place.
Yeah. Can I ask one more question? It's about like the ego wanting security or wanting like job security or financial security. The security that is, so the body feels, so there's a belief that there's a non-safety.
Is it only belief? If we look at the life how it is there any safe place here on earth, to be honest?
Well, there seems to be safer places.
Yeah, okay. But can we really know about what is going to happen in 15 seconds?
No.
I mean, if we look, sorry to interrupt you, but it is an unsafe place, even if it's a story. Even if it's a story and it is before we talk about the movie and so on, it's not real. But in the story as such, it is unsafe if we look at it from that level of a person. From the personal level, it's totally unsafe. We have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah, okay, continue.
Well, so my question is just that rises, that comes strong. It's quite hard to be with the unsafety. Some other things, it can be lighter, less attachment to the belief of the story, but around safety, security, that can really grab.
Mm. Yeah, it's a general. I think it's a general feature for many people on Earth,
Yeah.
and has always been, so to speak, because
Yeah.
it seems to be very unsafe here. And in some words, you can say it is, if we believe that this is real.
Mm.
If you believe, because unsafe for whom? Can you see? Unsafety is connected to a person who is unsafe. If you sit in the cinema sofa and you look at the movie, and you can say, oh, it's very unsafe there in that building. There's some kind of aliens running around with the Kalashnikov shooting everybody in the corners. It's very unsafe there, but we are sitting in this cinema sofa quite safe, right? Because we are not a person in
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah.
But if we believe that we are a person in the story, and we
Yeah.
usually do, before we come to oneness, we believe that we are a person in the story who
Yeah.
needs to fix safety, go
Yeah.
to a safer place, as you say. And that is a problem. Even if the story seems to be unsafe, but you're not in the story.
Yeah.
So what happens with the unsafety then if you're not in the story?
Yeah. I did have the other day, I got out of the shower
Mm-hmm.
and I had this one little moment where felt like I was seeing me uh, doing my hair, but whatever, but that I was watching, yeah, as if it was kind of a film and there was this human that was kind of me, but not just me. But then that was just a few seconds, or then it was only, yeah, but I see if that makes sense in that moment, it wouldn't, it was like, oh, there's a human being, but they're more like a shadow human being. But
Well, it's
it
Amanda.
only lasted a
Yeah.
few.
And how do you remember how these 2, 3 seconds were? Was there any some kind of emotional tone to it, or how did it feel?
Uh, just that it was like a bit more like watching well, it was calmer, but
In the freedom
um
from Amanda.
it was not strong enough for a full kind of, oh, total freedom, but it was something was not it was a bit like watching a movie, but being in the movie that you're watching.
Yeah. So the ego was not so attached, you could say.
No, but it was still kind of around, but
Yeah.
not so attached. But then it goes, and then I'm back in, oh, I have to do this, and this disaster's happened.
Yeah, but this is a good glimpse, huh? It's a
Yeah.
good glimpse, Amanda. It's very beautiful that you share it with us also here.
Mm.
To see that there is another alternative reality to live in. We don't have to be totally uh, identified with this responsible me in the story, because that
Mm.
is what that makes us feel unsafe.
Mm.
We can use the whole life try to be safe, and
Yeah.
many do, especially women.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But
just
it,
the freedom state is to see that there is no
Mhm.
one here who can be safe or unsafe.
Yeah.
And then there's a freedom. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah. No, but in that moment, it was as if something had happened to the body I could see in the mirror in the shower. If
Mm-hmm.
something happened to that body, there was still the something else that wasn't the body.
Yeah. Good.
Um, but it was a relaxed place. Whereas normally in life, there's so many things pulling the identification, you know.
Mm.
anyway, I guess I'm just sharing because I still find it, there's so much, I still have quite a lot of fear that comes up in many ways, and that just grabs the identification, and it's still challenged to deal with, to be with that identification when fear is or anxiety is quite strong. It's quite
So in this moment then, only in this moment, how is this moment felt? How is this moment experienced? When there is no person who can be safe or unsafe. How does it feel?
yeah, some
You can be with it a little bit, and we can have other questions here. Okay. Someone else have anything to say? Any questions?
A comment.
Oh yeah, okay, please.
You were mentioning teachers who probably shouldn't be teaching yet. I've encountered
Oh, I
this.
didn't say that.
Well, that's my interpretation of
Okay.
it.
No,
Sorry.
I didn't say that at all. You see, can I just comment on the comment before you continue that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, sure.
because it's not about what should. There are no shoulds coming from here. Things are as they are. We are saying this is how it is. That they are teaching, and the consequences of that teaching is this, that they hurt other people. This is just what happens in the story. There is no evaluation from my side that it shouldn't be like this. I didn't say that they shouldn't teach. Obviously, they are teaching. That's the reality. This is how it is. I never had any should. I really, if I had any should, well, one day, please don't tell me,
Okay.
then I will resign. I'm saying. Okay. But you see the point? It's
I
not,
see a point.
yeah, it's not about having an opinion how it should be. It's more to see that if this is happening, it will have these consequences in the story. If someone is abusing someone, it will have these consequences in the story. Okay, you can, maybe you have something more you wanted to say, actually.
Yeah, sure. So, without naming names, I've encountered people who are non-dual teachers who I would say they've had a glimpse or a big glimpse of reality with a capital R, and yet they're still acting out egoic material.
Mm.
What gets tricky about recognizing it is there can be a lot of Shakti or energy or things like this with these folks. And for a seeker, that can be real confusing
Mm.
because, the interpretation is, oh, there's all this energy. It must mean they're awake.
Mm.
And it ain't necessarily so.
No, it's not necessarily so. I mean, we have many examples in the history that charismatic, we talk a little bit about charisma here. Huh? The charismatic teachers who make people do a lot of stupid things, including suicide. Mm. Or digging down in the bunker or something, waiting for the Armageddon. So the charisma in itself, the energy which is flowing, so to speak, felt around a teacher, a woman or a man, it doesn't mean that they have seen some kind of truth. It's just an experience. It is in the guidance from that person that we can see if they have seen something or not. But when it comes to see some parts of our reality, the glimpses that you say, It's not easy, this, because we can come to a state, what we call usually here, I exist or I am, state of living, state of being. It's a beautiful state, really. It is actually the truth showing itself as that inner human being. The feeling of I am, I exist, I live. It's a very beautiful state, but it has nothing to do with enlightenment at all. And people can come to this state and feel that, oh, everything is bliss, it's joyful here, it's peaceful, untouched by the story actually, because it's outside, beyond the story, but it's still a phenomena. It's still a phenomena. Nothing to do with enlightenment. But it's easy to get trapped there and to think that we have seen something. Well, what you have seen is some kind of state. A state of I am, I exist, I live. But we have to go beyond that. Because something is aware of the I exist also. And that is what we are talking about. That place, which is not an experience. It's not even a place, it's just a way of talking about it. People can use the word space sometimes. Something which is there, something which shows itself in the so-called awakening moment, which is not an experience, not a sensation, it's not a feeling, it's not a thought. We don't have any name for it, but it's definitely there, some kind of living being, existing, but it's easily to mix it up with the feeling of I exist, because they are very similar. It's actually the ocean is showing itself as the I exist, but it's still, so to speak, a phenomena. The awakened place is not a phenomena. It's where the phenomena is coming from, you could say, or arising from, showing itself from, better to say. We are talking about the ultimate reality here, without being too philosophical. We're talking about that which shows itself as the feeling I exist. But if you come to that place, it can be easy to think that, okay, now it's finished. I've seen everything. But you have not even come to awakening, the first aspect of seeing reality. So there's a lot of traps on the way here. And as you know by now, I went into all of them, which is good now as an experience for not people to see that people are now you're going there. It's not finished. Good to have someone who has gone the path before.
Krister, I have a question.
Yes. Hello, Lindsay.
Hi. There is one teacher I would like to ask about, but he's no longer living, but it would be naming a specific name. Can I do that?
I don't think I
Are you
will.
comfortable?
I don't think I will comment on the person,
Okay, even
because
though they're no longer,
no, I never comment on other teachers.
yeah,
We're
I can
just
understand.
formulating general principles here and giving examples from history without naming any persons. I don't think it's
Yeah,
fair, you know. But if you want to do it in the, you know, in me, for me, WhatsApp or something, maybe I can say something, but not in the official here. No, I don't think so. I don't think I will tell you in the WhatsApp even. It's
yeah,
a bit tricky here, because
yeah,
how do we know? How do we really know that the person is clear? That the person is living in clarity? How do we know? Is any way to know? Is it really so that if there's not abusing women, is it finished then? It's not easy. I know that Adyashanti, for instance, yeah, the American, he talked a little bit about this in a good way. He said, I agree with him totally. It's impossible to know actually, because what is happening is happening. Yes, without any evaluations. Life doesn't have any evaluation. What's happening is just what's happening. The only one who knows if there is clarity, if the truth is seen and lived, is the one who is there. It's not even one who is there. So we can't really make any evaluation.
Wow. Well, I mean, you have to evaluate it somewhat to make a decision about who you want to listen to and who you want to believe.
Of course, that is a part of our, so to speak, seeking to trust the teacher or not, of course. But that is not the issue, you know? This is how we are dealing with people who think we think they we can trust them or not. What we're talking about here is, can we really know in what state people are, and we can't. I mean, there are quite many examples in the Zen Buddhist tradition, for instance, or if you go back in time now, that seems to be quite harsh, you know, a little bit even nasty, you know? But they were there, probably they were totally there. It's just a way of the personality. The personality doesn't change. Of course, if you are angry, if you have psychological issues that manifest as anger and so on, and very aggressive behavior, that will totally gone. It'll be totally gone. But otherwise, the personality as such does not change. So how do we really know? So what we can do is to use our own judgment. When we come to a teacher, say, "Oh, I trust this one." But of course, one criteria is in what way the ego seems to be there still. And that is quite easy to see. How much gratefulness the guy wants, huh? How the reaction is, the sitting in front of 500 people, how do the person react? So to speak, the teacher, how do the teacher react? It's quite easy to see if there is some kind of ego there. And if you, for instance, if you are a teacher and you want somebody to sit in front of you on a cushion, it can be some situation there. You, so to speak, are here and the other one is there. So it's some kind of difference between teacher and student. But there's no difference between teacher and student. If you follow Papaji, no teaching, no teacher, no student. It's all about discovering what is here. There's no hierarchy here. And if the teacher is behaving in such kind of way that everybody has to sit in front on the cushion and he looks down on them, I don't say this is a full time is a full criteria, but it can be used. I would say question mark. Question mark. Well, of course, we have to use our own judgment in this case. But
I think that's
yeah,
too.
yeah, okay, yeah,
I think that's what it probably comes down to. Yeah,
okay.
it does seem to get. It seems that the more intricate, if you look at it in a more and more intricate, is that the word? Yeah, intricate way. It just seems to be more and more difficult to understand what's going on with each individual person. Because I've also had really huge openings with teachers that, in retrospect, looking at the way that they do treat people, I wouldn't go back to or wouldn't spend time around. But I've also gotten gifts from these people.
Mm. Everything has its place, so to speak, in this story. Yeah? We can't say that, oh, shouldn't be here. That's what I'm saying. And I never say anything about should or should not. It is part of the play. The enlightenment is happening in the play. It's happening in the story. So it's part of the story to wake up or not. In what way? It can be different. I mean, in my own case, for instance, before the awakening came, I was giving Diksha, you know, this kind of Shaktipatu from Mama Bhagavan in Andhra Pradesh. I was giving Diksha to some people and they woke up, but I was not awakened. How could I do that? Because I didn't do that. It just happened that way. So the awakening can happen in all kinds of ways. You just have to go. The suggestion is to go after your heart. Go after what you feel is best when you meet someone. Does it feel good to be with that person? Maybe it's good to be there for a while. To go after the intuition and go after your heart, and not go after some head that says that he or she is like this or like that.
And
So,
then I have a separate question for you besides
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes meet with this group. They're non-dual spiritual people. I don't know why I do that, but because I get in arguments with them sometimes. And my last argument was that they were insisting that there's no such thing as spiritual bypassing. And I just felt like, yeah, I still think there is a thing as spiritual bypassing. I just wanted to see what you thought about that term, which like another word could be pretending.
Yeah, the answer from here is it is and it is not, to make it mysterious, right? Mhm. Yeah. Because in one sense, you could say there is some kind of spiritual bypassing when we don't want to look at the shadow. The shadow means to not look at the beliefs we have, which makes us not actually wake up, because we believe that some kind of responsible person in the story. A person who is not good enough and so on, if that is what you mean by spiritual bypassing. If we don't look at the beliefs that we have, negative beliefs we have about ourselves and others, in the way we teach it here, of course, this is based on that idea that there is nothing that's spiritual. We can't bypass it. We have to look at that. But, yeah, but number two tonight then, from the top of the mountain looking, from the truth level, really truth level looking, there of course there is no spiritual bypassing, really, because things are just arising and falling as they do. It's just the ocean showing itself as waves. So there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's just what is. So that in that sense, there are no traumas. There are no traumas that needs to be questioned or to go through or to feel through. It's just things happen in the way it happens. But it's very deep. But if we can see it in this way, that things are just arising and falling, including emotion reactions, including tension in the body, including negative thinking. Negative thinking is also just a wave of the ocean. Can you follow me, Lindsay?
Yeah, I follow you, but I still feel like in a practical sense, it could be one or the other.
Yeah, that's why we use it in this way here, because it has been, so to speak, proved in my own case. I'm just sharing what happened here, what worked here. I cannot do anything else than just sharing what worked with me, so to speak, me. And in that, so to speak, part of discovery journey, we can call it, there was questioning of the idea that I'm not good enough, just to share what my main beliefs then. And the question of this actually led to oneness. So you can see it from different aspects, from different levels here. That's why I say yes and no, depending on from perspective you look. Because if you look from the absolute point of view, there's nothing wrong with anything. Even the
Well,
trauma is just a wave of the ocean.
yeah, it's not a question of wrong. It's just a question of does it exist? Is it there, or does that mean like the accusation I got was, well, you've gone off into the psychological weeds now. But I thought, no, I don't think so, because I think it's really simple. It's just a form of pretending that what's arising isn't arising.
Yeah. Again, if there is no me, is there is no personal me at all. There is no spiritual bypassing, actually. But as long as there's a belief that I'm a responsible me in the story, that needs to be looked at. And in that sense, there is a spiritual bypassing if we don't look at it. So the different aspects to different angles by looking from it, you know. But of course, if there is only the ocean, why is it traumas? There is no traumas. There's no physical world either. There's no physical bodies. I mean,
Well,
but
so if you're enlightened, then I feel like what you're saying is that if you're enlightened, then because there's no personal me, which is basically what enlightenment is, I guess, sort of, then you don't have to worry about terms. They really don't apply. But for everybody else, myself included, then it does apply, right?
yeah,
So
because it's an obstacle for not seeing that you're already enlightened state. That is why we're working with it in this way, because it is an obstacle for not seeing it. So in that sense, it exists even if it's in reality actually not existing. I mean, we're pushing the button on the kettle to get warm water for the tea, right? That is working in practicality, seemingly, but in reality, there is no kettle and there is no warm water. It's just an experience. And the thinking is connecting then a say cause effect. You have to push the button, otherwise you will not have warm water for the tea. So it depends on from which angle we want to look. If you want to look from the absolute level, there's only the ocean. If everything is one, it's easy to see. If everything is one, where are the traumas then? If everything is one. One means not
everything is fine.
not
The traumas
not
are the ocean is the one, and the traumas are the little waves. They're still there in the
no.
ocean.
That no.
No,
Oneness means one. Oneness means not two. There are no things. There are no things. Oneness means not two. There is nothing. It's like the clay of the kids, you know, when the clay, the kid makes a tiger and then he makes an elephant, you know, it's same clay. It doesn't change. It just shows itself in different ways. So if it shows itself as traumas, yes, but there is actually no traumas. You see my point? It shows itself as if, and the label from the thinking, which is also one of the ways, is putting the name traumas as if it was something there, some kind of substance. But it's actually only the clay showing itself as what the thinking calls trauma. There is no trauma. There is no traumas. It's just
but there's something that's arising, right? Are you saying
a,
there's nothing?
a phenomena arising, which is labeled by the thinking called traumas from my childhood. It's just a label on something which is not there. It's just a clay showing itself in a different form. It's still only the clay.
So you don't think, or you wouldn't think that if you go through a trauma when you're young, and let's say you're really little, essentially you have the ability to do fight or flight. And since you can't do those because you're too little, there's the other one called freeze, and things can get disassociated and you don't feel that experience at that time because you can't. So you don't think that later in adult life, those that stuck freeze response can arise, and that didn't originate from trauma?
Well, the story that we have is a mental construction in the head.
The old story about
Or
trauma,
the whole story.
right?
There is no story even.
Well, there's something that's arising in the body, but you're saying the body's a story.
Yeah, the body is just an experience, which is interpreted by the thinking, which is also an experience, as something is here, which is no evidence for. Without the thinking, there will be no story. Can we agree on that? Without the thinking about this sound that you hear here, you hear a sound without the thinking of it, there will be no story.
Yeah,
When you
I
were
can agree.
when you were 2
I,
years old, you didn't know anything about this story or body or mama and papa and me and life. Huh? The thinking is creating a story. Mental is a mental construction inside you. So there is nothing here really happening. It's just a rising and falling of phenomena, which is interpreted by thinking. And what happened when you were young and have what we call a traumatic experience. That was, of course, something which has happened. We don't deny the experience. What we deny is that there is something there which is real, and not only an experience inside, so to speak, inside, if you can follow me.
I can follow you. And I have had the experience that I know that Lindsay doesn't exist, and I know none of the story exists, but I'm still hypnotized.
Well, it exists as a story, but not reality. Lindsay is a role play. She is playing out her role. It's not illusion in that way. She is real in that sense that she's playing out a role in the movie, so to speak. The movie is real in that sense. Huh? We wouldn't say that we're sitting in a cinema, that there is no movie. Of course, we say there's movies out there. It's obvious. The movie is there. But is there something behind the movie? That is the question. Is there anything out behind the playing out by Lindsay in the movie? That is what we are questioning. We cannot find any person there. But the playing out of the story is obviously going on. And that is real in that sense. Actually, it is the ocean showing itself as that story. But it's nothing real behind it. Because that is an interpretation that there's something real behind a person who is responsible, that needs to fix life and so on, who has traumatic upbringing or all that kind of stuff. That is just thinking, which is also a wave of the ocean. But it is not true. So what we do here is to find out what is true in all these beliefs that is coming to us from morning to evening.
So when something arises, or like when I get the feeling when I'm around, spiritual or non-dual people, there's something really phony going on. Not all the time, but sometimes. And I call that spiritual bypassing. It's just something inauthentic is happening that makes me feel like there's a layer of positivity being put on top of what's actually arising. I keep going back to that because
You mean they're playing as there is no problem, but there is problem? It's like saying
yeah,
I'm kind against my grandmother, but I actually hate her because she was so nasty to me when I was a child. Is what you mean? It's a play?
yeah, especially the term spiritual bypassing as opposed to just the term pretending, because it comes up in a spiritual sense, that I'm transcending everything. And
Mm. Yeah,
you can't transcend.
in my experience, it doesn't work to pretend that as if it's not there. Even if it is seen that from absolute point of view that there is no traumas, but if they are here experientially, if they are here as an experience and keep coming up in the daily activity with other people, of course we should address them because these are very blockish for not seeing that you are total love.
But that's what I'm saying is spiritual bypassing. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that is why we're working with in this way. Even though it is from the absolute point of view, there is no spiritual bypassing. Can you understand what I mean? It's two different perspectives. Yeah. But this,
I think
yeah.
yeah,
Is that okay?
that's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Okay. Thank you. Someone else having something? Okay. So tomorrow we will have our last meeting before the course starts here in Goa. Then we have a break for 10 days, as we usually have, to focus on the people coming to the courses. But we see each other tomorrow then. And Yngve, I can just first, I can take away this. Yeah, I know.